What's up guys, welcome back. We are in the Elemental Mage Tower challenge. We are in the War Within Prepatch, and while the fights are a little bit easier than they have been in a while, in my opinion, Elemental is one of those specs that can still have difficulty with their encounter, and I think that mostly happens when you don't have like a damage tool or mini cooldown ready for a wave of adds. I've tried out multiple talent builds, and the one linked in the description below, in my opinion, is going to be the best one for this fight. And of course, you'll find that linked in the description below. And before we get started, just a quick word on gear scaling in the Mage Tower. After the stat and item level squish, you're going to find yourself anywhere between 100 and 160 item level. The Mage Tower scales your gear down to item level 120. It doesn't scale anything up. You definitely don't need everything to be at 120. I would say aim to have everything at 100 item level or above. And I would definitely recommend using your Reishi wraps. And definitely make sure to use your Titan disc belt. The Energy Absorb Shield is a very solid source of healing. Also make sure to grab your War Within Season 3, 2, or 4 set bonuses. Those are now just 6 and 10% damage increases. And then I just have 3 enchant recommendations. And that's Crystalline Radiance for your chest, and then Chant of Leeching Fangs on your cloak, Chant of Armored Leech on your bracers. Elemental Shaman didn't have much change since Season 3 for the class and spec trees, so I'm not going to look too hard at that, but I would say make sure you have Capacitor Totem with the cooldown reduction, have Earth Grab Totem, and I really like Permanent Earth Shield for this fight. And a quick refresher on the fight's mechanics. Agatha is mostly a giant training dummy that does teleport a couple times throughout the fight. She stays in her initial location until 50% health, at which point she teleports to the back of the room. She teleports again to the clear opposite end of the room at about 35% health, and then again to the far back at about 15%. After that first teleport, she adds 3 lanes of boulders to the fight that drop in the back of the room and roll to the front. Historically, these would kill you if they hit you. They probably won't right now, but they will stun you and do a ton of damage. She also starts firing green projectiles that leave a lingering puddle on the ground that slows you and deals damage. There's a handful of different imps you'll find in this fight. The first ones you see will be smoldering imps, and they just cast fire damage at you. With increasing damage and or frequency, the more cast they get off. This wave of imps spawns like every 50 or 55 seconds, and will grow in number and variety over time. You'll start seeing umbral imps added. Whenever these guys are out, Agatha will be immune to damage. We also see fuming imps added to this gaggle. And all these imps do is just run towards the player and then start a self-detonating cast that will leave a puddle on the ground. Fuming imps also have a single spawn on their own timer every 25 or 30 seconds. Letting the fuming imps blow up somewhere out of the way is certainly an option for dealing with them. And then we have 2 imp servants that spawn at the very front of the room or the middle, depending on where Agatha is. They'll always be half the room's distance away from her. That will trot towards her and then start channeling a heal into her, restoring about 1% health per second. They won't start channeling until they get just in front of her. So using Earth Grab is a really good option here. You can interrupt them with Wind Shear, though you do want to make sure you have Wind Shear up for her Dark Fury shield. You can stun them with Cap Totem, and you can even knock them with Thunderstorm. Lots of options there. All of these imps are on different timers, so you'll see different types of overlaps throughout the fight. And then Agatha has a couple of her own mechanics. It's not much. She'll melee you if you're within melee range. She'll cast on you if you're further out. Both of these do negligible damage. When you defeat a wave of imp servants, she will stack up a damage dealt increase of 1% per imp defeated. So there is a very soft enrage to this fight. Additionally, after imp servants are defeated, she will fire off volleys of purple damage. These are just swirlies on the ground that you can dodge. And then about every 50 seconds, whenever she reaches full mana, Agatha protects herself with an Absorb Shield and starts casting Dark Fury, which is just AoE pulsing damage. You need to DPS through the shield and then kick Dark Fury. If you also have Umbral Imps on the board, you need to take them out first because you won't be able to deal damage through that shield. And that's about it for the mechanics. Shaman has Bloodlust. I would recommend lusting on the pole and sending all of your damage. And then throughout the fight, I would use Ancestral Swiftness, Stormkeeper, and Ascendance as tools to deal with waves of imps. You'll have new imps spawn or a new shield come up frequent enough that you're not holding on to any damage cooldown for more than a few seconds, and dealing with a smoldering umbral imp wave and or imp servants with just hard casting chain lightning or something is kind of rough. That's about all I got for prep. Alright, gotta make sure we rebuff because you get wiped when you come in here. When she says but first, that's when she's about to pull. So we'll Stormkeeper right about then. And she immediately spawns that first wave of smoldering imps. Here we go. Gonna Bloodlust, we're gonna dot up and send everything. Ascendance kind of takes care of that Lava Burst cleave for us. And then the next set of imps we're gonna deal with are imp servants that are gonna spawn on my right. And when they spawn there, the front of the room, it's actually harder to Earth Grab them. So we got to make sure we're here so we can get like equidistance. All right, we got one of them. That's fine. To show you what I do with fuming imps, right? First, we're gonna he earth grabbed him. That kind of sucks. Tell you what, we'll put him there. That's fine. And I could have kicked that imp servant, but I don't like to kick him, especially at high mana, right? Because she's about to Dark Fury, and we want to kick that, right? We'll have Stormkeeper to break the shield. You just want to have something to break the shield, even if it's just like full Maelstrom, just something. Okay, he's gonna die to cleave anyway. That's fine. And they're gonna teleport. We'll cap totem these guys. Draw out an earthquake, which also acts as like a potential interrupt with the knockdown. Again, not kicking them. She's at half mana, so I did have time to kick it, but I just don't like getting caught up, which happens to me frequently enough. All right, that's 50%, so she's gone. Dark Fury coming up, like, you know, 10 seconds or so. Here we go. We're going to Stormkeeper this. We'll save Swiftness for whatever comes after. We'll Earth Grab Totem these guys. And we got Ascendance for this next wave of imps. We're not going to have Voltaic Blaze, so that kind of stinks, but it really does enough. There's an Imp Servant. We're actually going to knock him into Christendom over there. Into the wall, so that can potentially be bad, but he'll probably make his way back over. Or he'll despawn the boss, which will be lame. That's a teleport, not a despawn. Alright, 54 mana, so we got a little bit before the Dark Fury. Where are we going? I'm going over here since it just went. Gonna Earth Grab these guys. When they spawn in the middle, they're a little bit easier to deal with, right? You don't have to, you're not gonna miss the Earth Grab. Imp, cluster coming up. We'll let them blow up over here. We'll kick that. And since I'm not going to be under here, I don't really care about that. Imp cluster, any day now. Alright, we'll Stormkeeper as well. There we go. Alright, she's going to leave at... Might be under 15? Sometimes she's kind of uncooperative. We're going to Earth Grab you guys, and we'll just start hacking away. Alright, we Swiftness that, that's fine. He's going to blow up right there. I don't really care about that. Must be 12%? Bro, okay, there we go. Yeah, it's like 15, but then she kind of decides. That imp is still in the wall. Be careful there. Maybe don't knock an imp into the wall. Dark Fury coming up, so we're actually going to save these lightning bolts. Are we? Yeah, I think we are. Any day now. There we go. Yeah, we'll go ahead and ascend here. Little dicey, cap totem. Dark Fury's still going out, right? She can't be interrupted because of the Umbral Imps. Oh yeah, I can't damage the shield because of the Umbral Imps. Then I can interrupt. I'm still not sure if the Umbral Imps prevent the interrupt. Oh yeah, she just dies here. So we just send everything. Got her. Blow up. Let's go, Bo. Not bad. That's Elemental Shaman. If you're looking for any of the other Mage Tower fights, we have a bunch of videos out, about 12 videos out already. You can find that playlist linked in the description below and pinned comment. Feel free to let me know in comments what spec you want to see next. Please make sure to sub to the channel and turn on notifications so you can stay in the loop for more videos. Please like this video to help push it on YouTube. You can check out channel memberships to help support us a little bit further. But of course, I'm just grateful you guys are watching and enjoying the videos. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.